lying to you, saying nothing's going on, and it's her that he's cheating with.
Yeah, betrayal is really a devastating thing. At the end of any marriage, it's very sad.
At 6,
Shania Twain's story begins in Windsor, Ontario, where she was born in 1965 with the name Eileen Regina Edwards. Life was not easy from the start. When her parents separated, her mother raised Shania and her siblings alone until she remarried Jerry Twain, who gave Shania his last name. The family moved to Timmins, a small mining town where life was often a daily fight for survival. Their house was small, sometimes without electricity or heat, and food was often scarce. Shania later remembered how the family would eat bread and mustard when nothing else was available. Winters were brutally cold, and survival meant hunting moose or fishing just to put meals on the table. Poverty was not the only hardship she faced. Jerry, her stepfather, had a violent temper and would often beat Shania's mother, sometimes in front of the children. At just a young age, Shania became not only a caretaker for her younger siblings, but also a performer who used her talent to help the family earn a little money. She sang in bars late at night, even though it was dangerous for a child. By the age of 10, she had already performed in over 100 shows, learning how to survive in a world that was not always kind. Her songs were often a reflection of her pain and her mother's struggles with depression. For Shania, music was not only a dream, but also a way to escape the harsh realities of her childhood. These early experiences shaped her determination and resilience, qualities that would later help her face even bigger challenges in life and career. Shania Twain's story begins in Windsor, Ontario, where she was born in 1965 as Eileen Regina Edwards. Her early life was full of hardship. When she was just 2 years old, her parents separated. Her mother, Sharon, later married Jerry Twain, an Indigenous man who adopted Shania and her sisters, giving them his last name. The family moved to Timmins, a small mining town where survival was not easy. Their home was often cold, sometimes without electricity, and they rarely had enough food. Winters could drop to -30 degrees, forcing the family to depend on hunting and fishing for survival. Life was filled with poverty, but also danger. Jerry had a violent temper and would often beat Sharon, sometimes in front of the children. Shania's childhood was filled with fear, hunger, and insecurity. Despite this, music became her escape. By the time she was 3, she was already singing, and by the age of 10, she was performing in bars late at night. The money she earned helped keep food on the table, even though it put her in unsafe situations where drunken men sometimes tried to touch her. To protect herself, she even began wearing extra clothes to hide her body. Through all of this, her mother believed in her talent, often driving her miles away to perform at talent shows. These struggles shaped Shania into someone resilient, determined, and deeply connected to music as a way of survival. Tragedy struck in 1987 when Shania was just 22 years old. Her mother and stepfather were killed in a car crash, leaving her responsible for her 3 younger siblings. At a time when most young adults are just beginning to find their way, Shania suddenly had to step into the role of a parent. She put her dreams of becoming a singer on hold and focused on raising her family. To support them, she began performing at a resort called Deerhurst in Huntsville, Ontario. The shows were glamorous compared to her earlier performances in small-town bars, but behind the bright lights, her life was filled with pressure and sacrifice. For 5 years, she balanced being a performer and a caregiver, often feeling torn between her dreams and her responsibilities. Despite the hardship, this period of her life helped her grow as a professional entertainer. By the early 1990s, she finally felt ready to pursue her dream fully. She moved to Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of country music. Taking her stepfather's last name, she reintroduced herself to the world as Shania Twain. At first, things were difficult. Record labels were hesitant to accept her, and her debut album in 1993 sold only about 100,000 copies. She had little control over the songs and earned almost nothing. But Shania did not give up. Her powerful voice and determination caught the attention of Robert John Mutlanga, a famous music producer known for working with rock bands like AC/DC and Def Leppard. He believed in her potential, and their partnership would soon change her life forever. Paragraph 3. Fame and transformation of country music. When Shania Twain teamed up with Mutlanga, both professionally and personally, her career skyrocketed. They married in 1993 and began working together on her music. In 1995, her breakthrough album, The Woman in Me, was released, and it changed the country music scene forever. Unlike traditional country albums, it had a pop influence that made it stand out. Songs like Any Man of Mine and Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under became instant hits, and the album sold more than 12 million copies in the US alone. For the first time, a female country singer was breaking into mainstream pop charts at such a level. Critics were divided. Some loved her fresh sound, while others accused her of betraying traditional country music. Despite the criticism, Shania stayed true to herself, combining country storytelling with catchy pop beats. Her confidence, fashion choices, and stage presence also drew attention. She wasn't afraid to wear bold outfits, show her personality, and challenge old expectations of what a country singer should look like. By 1997, she reached even greater heights with the release of Come On Over. This album became the best-selling record by a female artist in any genre, with over 40 million copies sold worldwide. Songs like You're Still the One, That Don't Impress Me Much, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman became cultural anthems. Her music videos played everywhere, and her tours sold out arenas across the globe. At just 32 years old, she had become one of the most successful female artists in history. Yet, behind the fame and glamour, Shania was hiding painful struggles with her health, her voice, and her marriage. Even at the height of her fame, Shania Twain was facing battles the public could not see. In the early 2000s, she contracted Lyme disease after being bitten by a tick while horseback riding. The illness affected her nervous system and damaged her vocal cords. For a singer, this was devastating. Shania began experiencing blackouts, dizziness, and a weakening voice. At times, she feared she might never sing again. To hide the severity of her illness, she kept performing, often pushing through pain and exhaustion. Fans saw the glamorous superstar on stage, but behind the scenes, she was quietly suffering. As if this was not enough, she also faced stalkers and invasions of her privacy. She lived in constant fear, sometimes even sleeping with a weapon nearby for protection. Despite these challenges, she kept releasing music. Her 2002 album, Up, was another commercial success, selling more than 20 million copies worldwide. The album included 3 versions, country, pop, and international, showing her creativity and global appeal. But after the tour for Up ended, Shania disappeared from the music scene. Fans wondered why she had suddenly stepped away, not knowing the real reasons were her health struggles and personal pain. She retreated to Switzerland, focusing on her family and trying to find answers about her voice. What she didn't know was that her biggest heartbreak was yet to come, and it would nearly destroy her. In 2008, Shania Twain's world collapsed. After 15 years of marriage, she discovered that her husband, Mutlanya, was having an affair with her best friend and personal assistant, Marie-Anne Thebe. The betrayal was shocking not only because it was her husband, but because it came from someone she trusted deeply. The pain left her devastated, and she later admitted that it felt as traumatic as losing her parents in that car accident years earlier. She fell into a deep depression and even considered ending her life. The sense of betrayal, combined with her ongoing health problems, nearly broke her completely. Yet in the middle of this heartbreak, something unexpected happened. The man who revealed the affair to her was Marie-Anne's husband, Frederick Thebe. Both Shania and Frederick were left heartbroken by the same betrayal, and in time, they found comfort in each other. Their friendship slowly turned into love, and by 2011, they were married. This twist of fate gave Shania hope again. She forgave Mutt for his betrayal, though she never forgot the pain. For years, she stayed quiet about the details, leaving fans wondering about the truth. It wasn't until much later that she fully opened up about how deeply the betrayal had affected her life and career. Shania Twain didn't just succeed in country music, she changed it forever. Before her rise, country music was often seen as limited to the US and parts of Canada, with only a few artists breaking into the international scene. But Shania's mix of country and pop, along with her glamorous style, broke down barriers. Her music reached people in Europe, Asia, and South America, places where country music had little presence before. With songs like That Don't Impress Me Much and Man, I Feel Like a Woman, she became a global icon, proving that country music could be fun, fashionable, and accessible to everyone. Her concerts were more like rock shows than traditional country performances, with lights, costumes, and high-energy staging that inspired future artists. Singers like Taylor Swift, Carrie Underwood, and Casey Musgraves have openly said that Shania's bold choices gave them the courage to cross genres and find their own voices. Taylor Swift, in particular, has credited Shania as the reason she believed a country girl could become a global pop superstar. Beyond the music, Shania influenced fashion too. Her leopard print outfits, midriff-bearing tops, and glamorous videos became part of pop culture history. Even today, younger stars replicate her style in performances and music videos. By pushing boundaries, Shania made it clear that women in country music didn't have to fit into old stereotypes. They could be bold, independent, and unapologetically themselves. This global influence is why many call her not just the queen of country pop but also a trailblazer for women in all areas of music. What sets Shania Twain apart from many artists is not only her talent but her resilience. Life handed her challenges that might have ended the careers of others, yet she kept reinventing herself. Losing her parents at 22 could have crushed her dreams, but she took on the role of raising her siblings while still finding ways to perform. Contracting Lyme disease could have ended her singing career, but she fought to rebuild her voice even when doctors doubted her. The betrayal by her husband could have broken her spirit, but instead, she turned the pain into strength and found love again. Each stage of her life shows a pattern. When one chapter closes, she doesn't quit. She finds a way to write a new one. Reinvention has been at the heart of Shania's story. From the girl in hand-me-down clothes singing in smoky bars to the glamorous superstar in sparkling outfits, she has constantly transformed while staying authentic. Even her voice, once feared, lost, has been reinvented. Her deeper, slightly rougher tone today carries with it all the years of survival, pain, and growth. Fans have embraced this new sound because it reflects the woman she has become. Shania proves that success isn't about avoiding failure or hardship. It's about refusing to let those hardships define you. She has turned every setback into a comeback, showing her audience that resilience is a form of power. This message has connected her to millions of fans worldwide, making her story not just about music but about the strength to keep going, no matter how hard life gets. Another important part of Shania Twain's legacy is her role as a voice for women. At a time when female artists were often judged harshly for how they looked, what they wore, or how much control they had over their careers, Shania broke the rules. She was unapologetically bold in her fashion, wearing outfits that made her feel strong and confident, even when critics tried to label her as too sexy for country music. Instead of backing down, she owned her choices, proving that women could define themselves on their own terms. Her lyrics also spoke directly to women's experiences. Songs like Any Man of Mine demanded respect and relationships, while Man, I Feel Like a Woman celebrated independence, fun, and female confidence. These weren't just catchy tunes, they became anthems for empowerment. Beyond the music, Shania's personal journey as a survivor of abuse and betrayal made her an inspiration to women who faced similar struggles. She openly shared her story, not for sympathy, but to show others that healing and happiness were possible. In recent years, she has also spoken about topics like aging and body image, reminding women that beauty and worth don't disappear with age. By talking about menopause, body acceptance, and self-love, she broke another barrier, one that even younger artists often avoid. In doing so, she has become more than just a singer. She has become a role model and advocate for women of all ages, showing that strength, independence, and authenticity are timeless qualities. Now at 60, Shania Twain stands as more than a music icon. She is a living legend whose influence stretches far beyond charts and awards. She has sold more than 100 million records worldwide, making her one of the best-selling female artists in history. Her albums hold records that may never be broken, and her songs continue to be played at weddings, parties, and stadiums decades after their release. But her legacy is not just in numbers. It is in the way she changed what it meant to be a woman in music. She showed that you can be glamorous and strong, pop and country, vulnerable and confident all at the same time. Her journey from poverty to global superstardom, from betrayal to love, from illness to recovery, is proof that dreams are possible even when life seems impossible. By finally opening up about the rumors, her health battles, her struggles with abuse, her heartbreaks, she has given her fans the gift of truth. That honesty has only deepened the love people have for her. For young artists, she remains a shining example of what it means to break boundaries. For her fans, she is a source of strength and joy. And for herself, Shania Twain is proof that no matter what life takes away, you can always rise again. Her music will live on for generations. But perhaps her greatest gift is the inspiration she gives to everyone who has ever felt broken, reminding them that survival is possible and that life, no matter how hard, is still worth singing about.